Welcome, time travelers. Before we step into the event stream for Shocktober, let's honor the past by looking back at September's forecast. And because the Immortals demand truth, proof the currents flow, and the system corrects itself in real time, here are the hits and misses from September. The hits were deadlines tightened exactly as forecasted, incentives came with expiration dates, accountability and audits resurfaced from compliance crackdowns to public scrutiny. Clutter and unfinished work demanded attention. I even lived it myself, refining the decks and transmissions. And Shadow's presence was already stirring. Hidden files and messages resurfaced earlier than expected. The Shadow will live on after the body of Saturn. The misses, our economic language could have been sharper. The housing and interest rate pressures were visible, but I didn't call them out strongly enough. We missed naming specific global catalysts. Energy and supply chains proved bigger than we forecasted. And timing, August's emotionally charged language should have told us September's events were imminent. The lesson was the elemental hypertech model proves itself when we track not only what is said, but how charged the language is. That intensity reveals timing. With that calibration, we now step into Shocktober, framed by law, tested by shadow, and cracked open by the catalyst. Listen, time clears its throat. September exhales, October steps forward. In the space between breath and action, 13 Immortals gather. Law, politics, commerce, systems, war, desire, speed, spectacle, safety, sovereignty, luminaries, secrets, and the rival who tests us all. For the next 31 days, we'll light flags on the horizon, small beacons you can spot and act on. We'll name what to expect, point to the signs, and offer one clear thing you can do to protect what matters. This is not fear-mongering. This is map-making. This is Shocktober. Come with a mind for truth, a heart for your people, and hands ready to build. Raise your flag. Choose the path you want to see carried into November and beyond. The flags of war and renaissance in Genesis, the world's first time travel game. Each immortal is responsible for a genre. Know the assignment and you'll play the game. If you know, you know. Uranus, law and institutions, rules, regulation, governance. Jupiter, politics, big power narratives, campaigns, national debates. Neptune, commerce and finance, markets, money flows, incentives, rewards and losses. Saturn, infrastructure and systems, supply chains, energy, works and bureaucracy. Mars, war and conflict, military actions, spikes and aggression, coercion, hegemony and dominance, number 1, peace, second. Venus, love affairs and culture of desire, relationships, celebrity romance, cultural seduction, drama, and living vicariously through others. Mercury, technology and communication, fast news, apps, encryption, memetics, AI integration and evolution, leader of the innovation age. Pluto, media and entertainment, battles for attention, scandals, viral narratives, and moving the momentum of culture in a desired direction. Moon, safety and community, local services, aid, shelters, social cohesion, and supporting with charity and care. Sun, leadership and public figures, vision, personalities who anchor narratives and drive ideas to influence actions. Star, rising people, individuals who ascend into public awareness and influence others with ease. Shadow, secrets and corrections, whistleblowing, hidden papers, accountability and access to previous unknown and hidden data. Villain, catalyst, chaos triggers, systemic shocks, hacks, plant closures, sudden policy reversals, and disregard for old rules, creating new rules. The weekly map for October. Week 1, October 1st through the 7th, ignition and rules. The 3 Immortals, Uranus, Mercury, and Shadow. What to expect, legal documents, regulatory hearings, urgent memos, and a viral leak or correction. Communications move very fast. They want people to speak their minds online, to have accuracy in sentiment and control. They want to know what everybody thinks without filters, because the delta between Civilization 1.0 and Civilization 2.0 is immense. The people do not think and behave the same online as in real life. Without accuracy, technology fails and prediction wanders. Expect censorship reversals and policy changes which open doors into the innovation age. Flags to watch for during this week will be major committee votes, emergency regulatory guidance, a whistleblower story hitting mainstream, trending regulatory hashtags. And the action? Gather verified sources before sharing. Encourage clarity over rumor. Week 2, October 8th through the 14th, tension in markets, which will be ruled by the Immortals Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto. What to expect? Political theater and markets ripples, big headlines, opinion wars, a scandalous slice of culture that sells ad inventory, attempts to control the narrative and accuse the wrong parties. Those that point fingers may give themselves away. Energy becomes a topic of discussion when fluctuations and disturbances in the power grid hit communities of influence. The flags to look for: a political figure scandal or reveal, sudden market reaction in a sector, viral entertainment controversy. The blame game will start to go mainstream. The actions? Advise audiences and people of influence to look for verified documents and avoid reactionary trades. In speaking to community, calm, practical messaging about what the headline actually changes and what it really means is necessary. Week 3, October 15th through the 21st. Lines drawn, ruled by Mars, Saturn, and the Moon. What to expect? Confrontations escalate, infrastructure stories surface, supply chain outages, local community impacts show up. People notice prices rise and less products. Flags are increased military posturing or local disturbances, supply chain shortages or emergency advisories, service interruptions. The actions? Practical preparation, emergency kits, community check-ins, postpone non-essential travel to affected areas, encourage neighbors to share resources, energy effects and disturbances from known and unknown sources. The unknown sources will capture the attention of locals. Week 4, October 22nd through the 31st. Recon and Remember, ruled by the Immortals, Venus, Sun, Star, and Velen. What to expect? Emotional and symbolic culmination. Reputations shift. A charismatic voice rises. Creative works dominate headlines. A shock may force new normalizing narratives. The beginning of new political parties start to surface. Technology and patriotism become fast-growing movements. Venus will be in the background, reminding everyone to include respecting nature. The flags to watch for: celebrity or unexpected relationship revelations, a viral figure ascending, cultural pieces that become touchstones in film, song, and essay, and a catalytic shock that requires policy or social response. The actions? Highlight stories that promote healing, community, and accountability. Transform attention into constructive engagement. And the top flags to watch for during the Shocktober events are regulatory emergency notices and committee votes. This is Uranus. Read the actual document, not just the headlines. Boil it down to bullet points. 2. A single viral media story that fractures attention across news cycles. This is Pluto. Check the origin and the funding. 3. Market movements in a specific sector. Energy, semiconductors, construction. This is Neptune and Saturn. Could be an early sign of systemic change. 4. Whistleblower leak or major correction. Shadow appearing. Verify, archive, and follow the chain of events. 5. A rising figure on social platforms who rapidly become the story. This is the Star and Mercury Immortals. Track early messaging and alliances. It will pay off in the long run. This is the short version of the 13-dimensional Shocktober Spotlight episodes. A long version will be released that goes deeper into the event stream. Let's go over the short version now. The first, Uranus, Law and Institutions. The father of thrones speak. Order frames the chaos. He says what to expect is sudden rulings, emergency committee sessions, regulation shocks, policy will change direction, confusion for those who don't like change, opportunity for those that welcome it. He says the flags are a legal case that changes narrative, rules rushed into effect. And his call to action? Hold institutions accountable, but don't mistake speed for truth. The second, Jupiter, Politics. The strategist lifts his banner. Politics plays its game. What to expect? High drama in campaigns. Leaders staging moves for November. New political parties forming with popularity and speed with technocrats and patriots. The flags to look for? Polls swinging suddenly. New coalition announcements. And Jupiter's call to action? Look beyond the headlines. Track who benefits from each stage play. Number 3, Neptune, Commerce and Finance. The currents flows, fortune shifts in unseen tides. What to expect? Market oscillations, rumors on banking or trade, supply demands pivots, banks losing trust with one another. The flags to look for? Credit markets tightening, incentive packages announced, new ideas to promote the entrepreneur, moneylenders lean towards sustainable development and environmental considerations within business models to promote future development. Youth incentives to inspire wealth creation are spoken about behind closed doors. And Neptune's call to action? Don't gamble on waves, prepare for longer currents. Number 4, Saturn, Infrastructure and Systems. The builder of time hammers on the bones of civilization. What to expect? Energy, transport, or bureaucracy disruptions. The flags? Blackouts, supply chain headlines, new system upgrades designed to connect and link all the systems together behind the scenes. The world identification and participation, tracking for optimization and behavior modifications. What Saturn's call to action will be is check your foundation. Stability is a choice, not a gift. Number 5, Mars, War and Conflict. The Crusader strikes, sparks become fire. What to expect? Escalation, escalation, escalation. Fiery rhetoric, cyber attacks or skirmishes. The flags to look for: bold military exercises, covert strikes, rhetoric boiling over. The military economy is how you stay strong and dominant. Mars says, hegemony first, peace second, no other rules. Mars's call to action: channel fire into courage, not destruction. Prepare calmly, not fearfully. Number 6, Venus, Love Affairs and Desire. The Enchantress reveals, hearts and headlines entwine. What to expect? Celebrity romances, scandals, cultural seduction themes, lots of drama to keep people mesmerized by current affairs. The flags will be shocking relationship news, cultural works about passion going viral. Venus's call to action? Discern lust from love. Don't be swayed by surface glamour. Vanity will want your full attention, and love can heal. Number 7, Mercury, Tech and Communication. The messenger speeds, words become weapons. What to expect? Hacks, new apps, encrypted leaks, fast rumor cycles. The flags? A viral meme with political edge, sudden platform outages, more people speaking their minds, an uproar to get tempers and emotions high, to test the temperature and mood of the people. The call to action for Mercury is think twice before you repost. Accuracy is revolution. Number 8, Pluto, Media and Entertainment. The trickster of spectacle spins the wheel of attention. What to expect? Entertainment, shocks, scandals, manipulative narratives. What flags? One massive media controversy, influencer collapse or rise. Pluto's call to action? Consume consciously. Ask, who wrote the script? Spot the lie becomes a game we all play. Entertainment can passionately inspire and teach valuable lessons. Number 9, Moon, safety and community. The navigator lights the lantern of shelter. What to expect? Local services stressed, weather or aid stories. The flags, shelter demand spikes, neighborhood level alerts. The warnings come, but the event never arrives. Trust can be diminished or enhanced depending on the reaction and support. And the moon's call to action? Check on neighbors, build community safety nets. Number 10, Sun, leadership and public figures. The sovereign steps into the spotlight. What to expect? Leaders tested. One figure delivers a decisive speech. Faith is lost in some and gained in others. Those that do more than speak become leaders. The flags to see here is resignations, bold announcements, symbolic acts. And the sun's call to action? Support leaders who shine light, not cast shadows. Number 11, Star, rising people. The luminary burns bright. Unknown becomes known. What to expect? New voices ascends, gaining mass consciousness. Imperfections becomes appreciated and influential. Being real. The flags will be grassroots figures trending around the world. These will be unexpected influencers. The star's call to action? Notice the rising voices. They carry October's torch forward for many generations. Number 12, Shadow, secrets and corrections. The veiled one whispers, correction through revelation. What to expect? Hidden truths surface, whistleblower leaks, accountability moments. The flags? A correction forces retraction. Hidden files emerge, proof that leads to the talks of starting explorations into unknown lands. The discussions behind the scenes and leaked in controlled ways are Antarctica, but they are also secretly preparing to explore the Arctic. What shadows call to action? Honor truth, guard against weaponized exposure. And lastly, number 13, Villain, the catalyst, chaos triggers. The rebel stirs. Disorder is the teacher. What to expect? One catalytic shock shifts tone for the entire month. It will be unexpected, but familiar for maximum effect and desired trajectory. The flags to look for? Systemic disruption, cyber, finance, infrastructure. The call to action? For the villain? When systems shatter, choose renaissance, not war. What we want to do? Encourage verification, community, organizing, resources for the vulnerable, which is the moon, public events that reclaim narratives, Venus and Sun, calm, practical guidance for buyers, sellers, and economic uncertainty, Neptune. What you want to prevent is panic trading, rumor amplification, weaponized disinformation, lone actor escalations, that's Mars, and policy responses made in knee-jerk reactions rather than evidence, which is Uranus. At the opening of October, the world feels unsettled. Rule changes, Uranus, rush forward. Words, Mercury, scatters like sparks, and shadows, of course shadow, whispers their secrets into the wind. Only the aware catch what is real and what is agenda. The month begins with a sense of ignition. Papers signed, memos leaked, laws debated, and 1,000 voices competing for the crown of attention. The flags rise quickly, and the drums of Mars begin their slow beat. The thirst begins to stir the people with concern. By mid-October, the currents deepen. Politics, Jupiter, swells like a storm. Movement and momentum in the markets, Neptune, wobble as if caught between tides. And media, Pluto, hurls bright spectacles to distract from topics that really matter. Saturn reminds us of the fragility of our foundations, the roads, wires, and chains that bind our daily bread. Here, the month hardens, lines are drawn, tempers flare, and the choice between panic and patience hangs sharp as a blade. In the third week, Mars demands his due. Fires of major conflict flare at the edges, both abroad and within hearts. The moon pulls communities tighter, offering lanterns of safety when the night feels long. The sun steps forth, some leaders rising, others faltering beneath the weight of their own trespasses. And amid it all, the star is born, an unknown face, a rising voice, catching the world's eye, young and talented, speaking precisely and passionately of traditions, faith, and facts about world powers and what happens behind the scenes. And then comes the close of October, where Venus entwines desire with destiny, and the villain stirs chaos to test our resolve. Secrets are unveiled, shadows grow bold, and the world feels on the cusp of breaking. Yet it is precisely here, in the twilight of October, that choice becomes clear: destruction or renewal, despair or renaissance. This is the month we choose our path. As November dawns, the embers of Shocktober will be the scorch. What begins as noise, confusion, and fracture end as revelation. The truth keeps coming out no matter their efforts to silence or distract. The Immortals have played their hand. The month has shown us that law can be bent but not erased. Politics can distract but not blind forever. Markets can sway but not obliterate wealth. And wars can rage but not erase the human will to prosper and find a way of life. The warning is plain. If we feed fear, Shocktober becomes a stage for chaos that hardens into deeper and wider division in November. War benefits the few, when Renaissance the many. But the hope is stronger. If we light our flags with courage, compassion, and clarity, November becomes a new season and vision, not of dread, but of discipline and devotion. Saturn's hammer can build, not break. Mars's fire can warm, not burn. Venus's allure can unite, not divide. And so I say, let Shocktober end with our humanity intact. Let us carry forward not the scars of spectacle, but the wisdom of survival. The path of war and renaissance is before us, and we carry the torch into November. I honor truth in hits and in misses. I face the contention and I choose the light. What cracks will test me will also transform me. I choose renaissance, not war. The future is now.